Good evening. So it just occurred to me that it is now July, and I have done a couple of videos, but I still have not done an actual full garden tour. So I figured I would go ahead and do that now before I start swapping things out and getting rid of some plants, bolting cabbages and things like that before I put new stuff in, so you can see what was there. So let's get started. I'm gonna show this from a distance for now, because as soon as I walk that way, they're all going to run away. But this is my old greenhouse frame that I turned into a bird and squirrel hangout. And as you can see down there, there's one of our rabbits. She comes around every day, a few times a day. There was another one here a few minutes ago. I don't know where it went, but that's my Pepper. That's Pepper. She's always visiting. And so I'm gonna walk that way so we can start at the planter on that side. I'm sorry, y'all. She might not run. Okay, I'll just stop here. That planter over there was constantly getting bothered by the animals, and my chard and things like that would get trampled. So I said, you know what? Let me just fill it full of mint. So there's 3 varieties of mint in there. Where are you going, sweetie? Where are you going? There's 3 varieties of mint, and so far since I put all that mint in there, they haven't touched it at all. Don't worry, I'm not gonna bother you. Then over here starts one of my pepper rows. I'm not going to go through every variety because that would take forever. But look at some of these gorgeous plants. I know this is a sangria. This one, I have quite a few with this dark foliage. Autumn Thyme. This is variegated royal black, I think. This is Swiss chard. And when I had chard in these planters last year, no one bothered them. As you can see, that one is being torn up. So I need to spray it down. I'm not sure what's doing it. I don't know if it's worms, roly-polies, or what, but I'm gonna spray it down real good. Actually, it must be worms. I see some poop on there. So, BT, coming your way. So there's the culprit that's been eating my Swiss chard, and I have no clue what kind of caterpillar that is. I have to look it up. We have some black-eyed Susans climbing these trellises. More chard, more gorgeous peppers, and each pepper plant over here has some sort of companion plant. Most of them are either basil, dill, onions, or chives. This one, these 2 romaine plants were volunteer plants from last year. As you can see, they are bolting pretty bad now, so on their last leg. I'm going to harvest all of the rest of that and just dig those out so they'll be out of the way of that pepper. More peppers. So as we go this way, it's just a repeat, except here there's one of my sunflowers, which is getting huge. Some petunias. And then we have over here another sunflower, bee balm, and what's this? Is this pineapple sage? I think that's pineapple sage. More peppers, huge gorgeous dill, just in time for the cucumbers to start coming in. All of this dill was volunteer as well. I let my dill go to seed last year. Some of the seeds fell. Some of the dill I moved into these pots when I saw it popping up. We have some zinnias, and look how beautiful some of this chard is. This is why I put chard everywhere, because it's just so pretty. And I thought animals didn't like it much, and I love to eat it. So along here where we just came from, there's 13 pepper plants, and then inside we have more. But over here, this is the back of my sub pod. This is 2 cucumber plants that are absolutely loaded. There's one there. I just saw another. There's one in there that's pretty much ready. And as we go this way, you see the other pepper row. This is 23 buckets of various peppers. There's poblano. There's what's this? Rasa Macedonia, I think. There's Big Thai. There's cayenne. There's a lot. There's a tomatillo plant. Let's go inside though. Talk about stuff from this side. All right, here on the arch, on this side we have pole beans. On that side we have pole beans. And clearly one of the varieties likes to climb more than the others. So I'm not sure if they will catch up. But I've been getting quite a few beans from them. I think the next batch I'm going to let get a little bit bigger. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, they still need a little more size. Over here we have Savoy cabbage. There's some kohlrabi. I should probably check this one. It looks looking big. Not ready yet. Over here we have okra, perpetual basil. What is this? Keep forgetting. Brighton shisho. There's a tomatillo here. There's a tomatillo here. There's a tomatillo there, there, and there, and there. Why are there so many? I started 2. All of the rest were volunteers. There were actually probably 20 volunteers. I got rid of most of them because they just take up so much space, but I tucked the others somewhere. I left some of them where they popped up. Yeah, this one looks terrible. I'm not sure why. That one I may just decide to get rid of if it does not come around. I just fed it really well. I might chop off a lot of these yellow leaves and see what happens, but I have 5 more, so I might not worry about it. Here we have the giant radishes from Baker Creek. I can't remember the name. This one is actually forming a nice bulb. The one next to it went to seed almost immediately. I decided to let it stay and get the pods, and they got attacked really bad by flea beetles. You can see that leaf there just got decimated. The flea beetles are pretty much out under control now. I need to spray for them again, but yeah, I'm not sure why one did so well and the other one didn't. I'm curious to see how big those are going to get. And as we spin around here in my little Aldi planters, we have some lettuce. I think I labeled these slow boat leaf lettuce. This one, there's a tag here, dark rodent. This was Astro arugula, which is obviously bolted. This is oregano, and I had not seen oregano flowers before, but it's just been so crazy hot that happened here too. I need to clip all of those off. This I think is pineapple, no, not pineapple sage. What is this? Shoot, I guess I could taste it and figure it out. I'll figure it out. I have the tag somewhere. I'll put it on the screen. Then we have some thyme, which came back from last year. And I have like tricolor sage, purple sage, and a couple others. This is Lunix lettuce, which I love. It's so beautiful and it lasts a while. Here we have really red deer tongue, some more oregano. We got onions mixed in there. This is a volunteer sunflower that came back from last year. There's a kohlrabi. There's some of the peppers. And yeah, again, 23 peppers along there. There's like peppers everywhere. I love my peppers. The pea arch. On this side, the peas have been doing pretty well. They're just now starting to dry up at the bottom, but still growing and still producing. On this side, this variety, which was the Snowbird Snow Pea, I won't do a second round of those because they gave up way too fast. As you can see, those are pretty much done. So I'm going to harvest all the rest of those, pull those plants and replant something else there. Maybe more peas. Might do the same type since these seem to do very well. Which one is this? My tags get buried once the plants really start growing. I found it. Swiss Giant Snow Pea. So that's why those are so big. In this pepper, we have a couple of poblano peppers. There's a beautiful one right there. I think there's a habanero. There's 3 celebrity tomatoes. There's a giant marigold, which I didn't know was going to get so big. Over here, we have my round zucchini. My other zucchini are cranking them out. This had a few babies, but they all dried up. They did not get pollinated. It just seems to be so dense in there that it's hard for the pollinators to get in there. So I'm going to try to thin this out if I can. Nasturtiums are some of everywhere. This is one of my eggplant. This one, I swear, is taking forever to get some size to it. Nasuli bride eggplant. Behind that, we have 2 Brandywine pink tomato plants. And this is a mystery tomato plant, which actually looks pretty close to those. But it was an extra seed in one of my pods, and I didn't have it labeled. This is one of my green stalk leaves. And this is what I was talking about. There's a whole lot of kale in here that's still doing wonderfully. My red cabbage is still doing wonderfully. But we have some things that I know will be coming out of here, like this. That's the Chinese broccoli, which I'm letting go to seed in a few places. This was my hybrid mustard that was doing really well until recently. Then it just shot up and bolted. Over here, we have one of my really big cabbages, red cabbages. Isn't it gorgeous? Here we have a Black Beauty eggplant, which I see now is starting to get some buds on it. Behind that are 2 mini-me cucumbers. As you can see, I really like to pack in the plants. Mini-me cucumbers. There's some celery. More herbs around the sides. Here's some of that beautiful kale. There's some mizuna. Something else bolting here. This is my Indeterminate Tomato Bed. It's hard to get in this side, but I can. So over here we have the tomatoes that are going to take over. And that's the other thing too. When I thin these out, because some of them will be bolting, look at the beautiful leaves. I will be eating these leaves for sure. And that'll give me a little more space right here. I did see tomatoes over here. Some of these are getting off to a slower start. And I was actually talking to some friends about that. We were comparing pictures of our gardens this year with gardens last year. And it seems like they're like a week or 2 behind last year, even though we started earlier. So we attribute that to the crazy weather that we've had this year with the cool start to spring and then just being really hot all of a sudden. Confused the plants. Over here in the middle, that's New Zealand spinach. And around the side is purple oric. Now, I planted several of these seeds all around the perimeter, and only one germinated, which is crazy. The New Zealand spinach is heat tolerant. It's not a true spinach, but it tastes like spinach, so it's a great alternative for the summertime. In this green stalk leaf, there's a lot more kale. There's a lot of bush beans. This is Perpetual herb. Then we have lots of bolting things. We have another red cabbage, Savoy cabbage. See, I need to get in here and get some of these leaves off. Another giant marigold. And look at that. Those are collards down there. So when I come through here also and trim away a lot of leaves, we'll be able to see the green stalk. Right now you can't see them at all, which is just wild, but I love it. Then we have a little pot of chard, and this, I'm not sure what kind of lettuce this is. I had a little stir fry mix of lettuce, and a lot of it bolted. The ones that didn't, I stuck random places to let them continue growing, and there's a couple in there. Here we have one of my things of cucumbers, and it's weird. This one here, there's 2 in there. It does not look as healthy as that one. You can see the difference, same plants, difference in coloring of the leaves. They've been fed the same. It's producing though. But everything just got some food last night. I did granular all over before the rain, so we will see if that helps. On this side, more beautiful red cabbages, more herbs. These are chives. That's more of the pipacha. And this is another big difference here. So this bed I had last year already. This is 1, 2 zucchini. Then look back there. There's 3 zucchini in that bed that I swear came out of the same sale from the nursery. Those are enormous. These, not so much. And on the sides here, we have Brandywine tomatoes. Down there is my little tiny lemon squash seedling that I had to start all over after the roly-polies, aka pill bugs, ate my seedling. Here's some more beautiful chard. Gorgeous big leaves. This is my little Sam's planter full of herbs. Lettuce leaf basil, emerald basil, some lavender, some cilantro that's just starting to bolt, some chives, Thai basil with beautiful flowers, Genovese basil, which is huge, some Cheval, lemon mint, and that's doing very well. Then over here we have the dollar store version with some strange herbs in there. This is papalo, which is supposed to be like a cilantro alternative. It does not taste like cilantro to me. And what is this one? Bee balm. Oh, that's bee balm. Okay, I need to remember that because that's going to get big. I might have to move that out. On this side of this bed, you can see some tomatoes. This is a Black Beauty tomato. These are giant crimson. This was one of the first ones to start popping up. If you are familiar with M.I. Gardner or you watch him on YouTube, these are the 85-year-old tomato seeds that he found. This plant is doing very well so far. I had 2. One of them died while it was still a seedling in the house. But as long as I have that one, I can take a couple cuttings from it if I want, plant a new one, and then save the seeds. Wow, what is this? It's loaded with flowers. Let's see what this is. We have a big orange stripe right here, which has some tomatoes. Then next to that, oh, that makes sense. Berries, crazy cherry. Yep, that will grow wild tomatoes. Look at this beauty right next to it. That's an Amish paste. Beautiful. So there's some bigger tomatoes in there. What do I see on there? Might see a little damage. I'm trying to find the sign. Gobstopper. What is that? Oh, it's not really damaged. Okay. What's back there? There's an Aunt Ruby's German green that has a lot of gorgeous tomatoes on it already. That's one of my favorites. I love those. Over here we have more Swiss chard. This is Malabar spinach. This stuff is beautiful and supposedly tasty, but the plants grow so slow. Last year I tried to grow red Malabar. I thought it was going to climb up my arch and look beautiful. That plant was had one vine of 12 inches. That was it. And now this one was started inside months ago. Move it out here and this is as tall as it is. Then we have some more celery. Behind there we have 2 different cucumbers. Pickle bush, which was started later than this one over here, which is another lemon cucumber. Over here is the Indeterminate Tomato Bed. At least I believe they're all determinate. We have a little tiny geranium kiss. Look how cute this is. And it's weird because there's another one of those on the other side and it is not that tiny. Then we have here, these are 2 purple rain tomatoes. Very cute. You're going to notice on a lot of these, blooms missing. This is from the heat. We had so much extreme heat that a lot of the tomato plants curled up, which you can still see some of that here, and they dropped a lot of blooms, but they will recover. We have some Roma plants over here. This is the Principe Borghese. I guess I'm saying that right. There's a lot of pretty tomatoes on it. Over here we have, I think, Matt's Crazy Cherry, which has a lot of small little tomatoes. This cucumber plant, this is actually 2 plants. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 6 cucumbers that will be ready in a couple of days. We turn over here, we have my very first green stalk original. From the bottom up, I put potatoes in the empty spaces down there. They are doing very well. You see, starting to get flowers right there. This is some more collards. This is my early Jersey Wakefield cabbage, which is starting to form a head. Then you have a lot of bolting things that I mentioned, and my tatsoi and mustard that just got decimated by the flea beetles. Oh, there's some potato flowers. These potatoes look so much better than the ones in my bed back there now, but those were planted way before. This is Perpetual Spinach, which is actually a type of Swiss chard, but it tastes like spinach, so it's another great spinach alternative. This is my green stalk pepper tower. Look at that. There are 30 pepper plants in there, a couple of companion plants, but not many. Couple of chives, a couple of onions, but it is just doing incredible. I know for a fact this is paprika because I just checked. These are Count Dracula peppers. There's one there. There's a lot of peppers. This one, look how long. Beautiful. And I am so excited about this, that it's working out beautifully. I see a jalapeno. Look at that. Can you imagine just having all these peppers in one spot? This is a Thunder Mountain Longhorn. Look at that. I think this is Jigsaw. Starting to get little peppers on these gorgeous variegated leaves. More peppers there. I'm not going to reach in there. Here's some bell peppers and aloha peppers. They look very similar. Down here we have Hungarian Wax. And it just keeps going. They're just, all of the plants are just exploding with peppers, except for, I think, a couple of late additions. Oh, but it is growing like crazy now. This is one of my Scotch Bonnets. There's 2. Oh, there's some little buds. Finally. That one got off to a slower start than the rest, so it was put in here a little later. Look at that one, though. And then, let's see. My sub pod. Oh, next to the sub pod is a Grape Vine that I planted last year. Just put it in that bucket so I could move it around until I decided if it was going to live, because when I got it, it didn't look like it was doing anything. And it's doing well. I don't expect any grapes for a long time. I'm not sure how long that takes, but so far it's alive, and that's what's important. Here we have Country Taste Tomato. That's one I picked up at the nursery. Has a couple of nice looking tomatoes on it. Then we have my wild cucumbers over here. There is a lemon cucumber plant, as mentioned, and a Wisconsin SMR, and they are just all tangled together. There's a new baby cucumber there. There's the one we saw from the other side. Next to that, we have one of my favorites, a Cherokee Purple. And this is one of the plants that expressed its unhappiness at the heat early on. I don't know if I can find it now, but the whole top of the plant, imagine this is your tomato plant and it was full of flowers. It just went like this and curled in on itself. So eventually I just clipped that top off so that the plant could redirect its energy. And so far it's doing great. Over there we have another pepper. Over here, this is fascinating. So this is a sunflower. This is one that I just stuck in the ground where we have horrible soil. No, I take that back. I dug out a really small circle, like the size of my hand. I put a little handful of good soil in there, and then I put that plant in there. But as you can see, it is doing nothing like the ones down there that have access to much better soil for roots. Next to that is a volunteer tomato plant that I stuck over here as an experiment. I suspect that it is a spoon tomato. I'm not a huge fan of those. So if it doesn't make it, I don't care. And so far, it is not making it very well. And this is one of the reasons why I would never plant in the ground here. The soil is just absolutely horrible. In this corner is kind of my just compost pile. We had to cut down a bunch of grass around the fence. I threw it over here. I throw my veggie scraps over here because I don't want to overwhelm my sub pod and worms. You add things a little bit at a time. Let's see if we see any worms. Yeah, I need to put some water in here too. Can't see. Oh, I do see a couple of baby worms right there. I need to add some water in here and probably give it a stir. Okay, potato bed. Planted on April 30th. Just a couple days ago, I pulled up a couple of potatoes just to see how they were doing. And there were some nice size ones, but there were some small ones as well. So I'm trying to wait like 3 more weeks. But what is happening here? The plants are just looking horrible. And supposedly when they start looking horrible and dying off, it's time to harvest them. So I may get all of the other ones that look terrible, but leave the ones like this that still look healthy. Over here, guess what? More peppers. And a huge, beautiful marigold. And a couple varieties of purple basil. We have a couple of habaneros here. What's that? Let's see. Maya habanero. Oh, I'm excited about that one. That was another late addition that I started in the second round of peppers that I started. Then we have poblano that I got from the nursery, and that's a yellow bell with some little baby bells on it. This is another habanero. Down here, late addition sweet potato slips. I actually have some more in the house that I need to get planted. Over here, more potatoes. I had seed potatoes in the basement that I forgot about. Pulled out some grow bags, put them in there. I think I'm gonna do a couple more just to see how they do in the bags versus here. This is a Roma tomato plant that was back there, not getting any light or love behind those things, so I moved it. However, since I put it in this bag, when the weather is hot, it looks like this, extremely unhappy. Last night, when it cooled down a bit, it perked up after water and looked great. So we're gonna see how it does tonight. I just watered a few minutes ago before I started this video, so hopefully it perks up. This is a pot full of beets. Let's see if we see any yet. I do see some forming there. Chives, lots and lots of chives that I need to trim down again. And more chard. This bed, this is my Vajayga raised bed. These are the wild, huge zucchini that I was talking about. I just harvested 5 zucchini. There's already a couple more on here that look like they will be done very soon. Got some bee balm. There's a cucumber plant back there, which is doing well, actually. I need to come in here again and trim away some huge leaves. But look at that. There you go. That is a beautiful zucchini. And I know I saw another one over there. There it is. Up here we have dragon egg cucumbers, which is an interesting looking one with light flesh. There's a baby. I'm sorry. So hopefully we'll be getting some of those soon. This is my little strawberry tower. Some of you may remember that I rooted a bunch of strawberries inside over winter from last year's outdoor plants. I put many of them back out here, and I had volunteer strawberries show up in this tower. So what I need to do is separate these plants and spread them out so they can really thrive. Just not sure where I want to put them yet. I do have a couple of more planters that I could use. It's starting to get a little dark. I wonder if rain is starting soon. So let's take a quick look here. Roma, beautiful Roma. Oh, this is that other little volunteer plant that I suspect is a spoon getting flowers. So I will know very soon what that is. This is gorgeous chocolate mint. And I think that's everything in the garden. Let's go over out there. This is my new swing area for watching the garden. On top of the potting bench, we have some sweet potato vines, some petunias, a couple other random plants. This is an orange hat that started as a cutting from an inside plant. This is a piece of the Matt's Crazy Cherry that I accidentally broke off. I stuck it in here to see if it will root, just so I could get these little tomatoes. We will see how that goes. This is a little pepper plant called the Basket of Fire. Look at all of the peppers on there. I got this from a local nursery, and this thing is just loaded. There's one in there turning red, but look at how many. Over here we have lemongrass. Here's my other Aldi pepper tower. I'm sorry, Aldi tower. I could call it a pepper tower. There are plenty of peppers. This one has some jalapenos. These were very, very late nursery saves. So some of these plants looked horrible when I got them. These two have recovered nicely. This one, no, not so much. This one's doing okay. This one down here looks terrible, but it might still recover. Over here in my daisy rain garden system, we have another black-eyed Susan. We have some amaranth, some sorrel, Armageddon pepper. I got that at the nursery. That one, I don't know how it's doing. Blooms have fallen off. Haven't got any peppers yet. We will see. We got a couple of cucumbers here to climb up. We will see how those do. And you can see some petunias around the yard. I love my petunias. And that's it. So basically my plan over the next week, if I can catch time between the rain, is to move those bolting plants. I think I'm going to move them to like a grow bag or a pot so I can claim my green stalk space back and get to harvesting. It is time to stop being lazy and actually harvest and make some of this stuff. I have 4 zucchini in the fridge. I said 5 earlier, it was 4. I have plenty of greens I can harvest. I want to make some kale chips, and before I know it, there will be peppers rolling in. So I hope you will stay with me to see some of that going on. And I just noticed something I missed. Tumbling Tom Tomatoes in these hanging planters. Doing okay. Again, suffered from the heat, and I actually just changed these planters. They were in old basket planters and they did not like being in there at all, so I changed to the plastic. Hopefully they will do better. Okay, now for real, I have rambled on for long enough. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe.